times women get exposed for cheating on paternity court.
What is
It was the
solo
same
dolo?
person. Single. Basically, you're single.
So the man asked you about your relationship status and you told him you were single, but you were really in a relationship with Mr. Hunley.
Yes.
She was seen on Facebook with another guy kissing. She even got his name tattooed on her body as if...
A whole lot of drama and turmoil surrounded this couple. Oh yeah, the defendant was ready to back out of the relationship for good if he wasn't the father of the baby, while the baby mama claimed she had serious doubts. Certainly did not help her situation, but we shall know where it goes soon.
Every other day it's a constant battle of whether or not I'm cheating, I'm lying. We have 3 kids and I'm woman enough to be here and say that there's a possibility that my 9-month-old daughter is not Mr. Wayne's. I did lie to Mr. Wayne, but
man, since
he's
day one
always
you've been
saying
lying
that
about
I'm
everything.
cheating,
You lied
I'm
about
lying.
who you was,
Okay,
lied about
but
how many people
I
you
lied about
was
who she
honest about that, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Getting into the specifics of their relationship, we come to know that these guys had 3 kids together. And now, the third one's paternity was what brought this relationship to a standstill. As it turns out, Miss Brown hasn't been a goody two-shoes in the last decade they've been together. Yup, they've been together that long. Though she claimed she'd been honest.
You were upset because she didn't openly admit how many sex partners she had had previously?
Your Honor, nobody
Your
is
Honor.
perfect.
Most women lie about how many sexual partners they've had
Thank
in
you,
the
Your Honor.
past.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And they usually make the number smaller.
There was neither love nor trust to be found here. Nada, nothing. This had been an on and off again thing for all these years. Ultimately, the baby mama had to accept that she had been a liar and a cheater. But the attitude of Mr. Ramirez wasn't too great either.
We were separated in the month that I had conceived. I never had a father. I chose to go back to Mr. Wayne because I felt like he always manipulated me into being with him, saying, oh,
Nah,
you
you
know,
just trying-
you never had your daddy, you want your daughters to grow up to be like you, and I don't understand why, you know, you just want to go out and do this and do that, and you don't want a father for your children. But in all reality, I do.
Gotta hand it to the plaintiff. She raised all the right questions. It was understandable where the baby daddy's doubt was coming from, but the fella was still with her and kept coming back. I guess her allure was hard to resist. Huh.
I'm trying to
So
sit there
therefore,
and rub
how
on
can
the
you
belly
just
and I can't
say
even
that
rub on
I'm
it pridefully.
not who you want me to be, and I made that change to be with you. And now, if she's not mine, I'm gonna walk away. But you've been in her life for the past 9 months. So how can you just say I'm gonna walk away from a child that possibly is not mine? And you know, you've been there knowingly that she's probably not yours.
Next up, Miss Brown's dam finally breaks. And boy, was she regretful of her actions. She was. They both took it out on each other, and both wanted a family too. Now that was a conundrum for the ages, huh? Let's take a look at how the baby mama was taking this all in.
You know, a part of you says, I want to be the father I never had, and I keep going back to this woman.
Yes,
and
Your
then,
Honor,
and the next breath, she says, you're calling her names.
Every day, I'm tired of it. I'm really, truly, honestly tired of
can
it.
you-
If you don't want to be with me, don't be with me. You can still be
I
there for
said
your
I'm not
kids.
gonna deny
you don't
that.
have to be with me.
Now, Mr. Ramirez was being plagued by all kinds of doubts, and yet he had been along for the pregnancy ride. Yup, he'd even bonded with the kid and everything, but the doubts kept nagging him. He presented pictures to substantiate this doubt even further.
This is a picture of Jeremiah
Yes.
on the left and a picture of you. You don't feel like there's any physical similarity.
I'm still battling
That's
with
his
it to this
theory.
day because it be points where I'm holding my baby and I'm like, she did say she probably not mine. And it's kind of hard for me to be the father that I know I can be to the fullest potential.
Gotta hand it to Miss Brown. She was adopting the honesty policy pretty well. In her heart, she wanted the defendant to be her guy, but the other man was still very much in the picture. The conception calendar was proof of that enough.
You were able, through this app, to determine the window of the conception. Were you intimate with the other man during that window of conception?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're separated and still
And
kicking
how
it.
about Mr. Wayne?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you intimate with him during those days, that week as well?
It was about a week after.
Their relationship was really in great turmoil. They were separated already, but all hope lay in those results. Because, as the baby said, he wasn't up for taking any more chances with this woman right here. Uh-oh.
She also has a 4-year-old boy that I also doubt due to, once again, her own confessions.
So you not only doubt the 9-month-old,
My 4-year-old.
you also doubt the 4-year-old is yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
But he didn't start doubting my 4-year-old until I told him about my 9-month-old.
Too much was on the line here. The relationship, the family, but most of all, the fate of baby Aramia. Time to see whether this family had any future, or if the baby daddy was going to live up to his word.
It has been determined by this court that you are her father.
That's one way.
And that's why I'm here, to give you your answers and your proof, to show you that you don't have to mistreat me.
And I'm already starting to respect you a little bit more because of it, because I just found out some good news.
Love was hanging by a thread. The agitated plaintiff was fed up with the defendant's act, and he wasn't gonna shape up. He was gonna be shipped out. However, the defendant claimed he had reasons to strongly suspect the paternity.
I'm tired of being accused of cheating. I'm tired of him saying that it's not my son. I'm tired of just everything.
So this is really impacting your relationship.
It is.
What is it like in your home right now?
We fight probably like 3-4 times every week out of the week.
Constant fighting.
Constantly.
It was a love or bust situation over her mates. For real. Miss Sand began straight off the bat that her patience was running thin. The guy had been accusing her of cheating and all, and she wasn't having it. Well, we shall see about that now.
I apologize. I'm sorry, but it's just really emotional on me, and I'm not really a talker for real. Like,
You don't have to apologize.
But
This paternity doubt, relationship, it really is bothering you that your home is in this much turmoil.
it does.
But he causes this, Your Honor.
I wouldn't say that.
You do.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
Now, what unraveled this relationship to this point? It seemed to start unraveling shortly after 1 month of these guys being together. Yup, that fast. Baby mama was a busybody on the phone, and that didn't sit too well with Mr. Hundley. And so, the pattern began.
We had casual conversation before Jada and I had got together. What made him mad was I said something in the message about solo dolo.
Not even the same person.
What is
It was the
solo
same
dolo?
person. Single. Basically, you're single.
So the man asked you about your relationship status and you told him you were single, but you were really in a relationship with Mr. Hundley.
Yes.
That was enough reason for the baby to start suspecting that the girlfriend wasn't being a goody two-shoes. The two of them had varied narratives on the phone discourse, but the underlying context was clear. Miss Sand was indeed mingling.
I was like, okay, so how did he text you? Like, how did you get your number now? You got a new phone.
Was it the same guy, Miss Sand?
No,
Were
it
you
was
cheating
not, Your
again?
Honor.
It was
No,
the
it
same
was not,
guy.
Your Honor. It was somebody that I used to hang out with before Jada and I.
A man?
Yes, ma'am.
How did he get the new phone?
It wasn't a new phone. It was a new phone,
was
but
a
it
new
was not a
phone.
new number. No, it was not,
We got new
Jade.
phones, both switched because of the.
No,
that
we did
situation.
not.
Next up, we got to see another reason why the defendant doubted paternity, and he came prepared with an exhibit. Oh yeah! Now this exhibit was one of a kind as it presented physical evidence. Baby mama was quick to interject though, but the judge shut her down.
So this is New Year's, right? She's telling me she's going to bed. And I'm like, okay, but I'm still playing beer pong, so I'm gonna stay down there for a little minute. She went upstairs. I'm thinking she upstairs asleep. I go upstairs, going to bed, ain't nobody there. I woke up the next morning and she laying next to me. And then I seen a bruise like on her upper thigh.
And that's wrong.
No, it's not wrong.
No.
As soon as Miss Sand got the chance to amend the exhibit, yep, she jumped on it, and she further pointed out where the sneaky bruise was. But the defendant didn't buy that. Furthermore, the baby mama was also getting interesting visits from certain people as well.
We're playing beer pong all night. I was drunk. I don't remember what had happened, but I woke up the next morning and there was a mark on my leg, probably right about here. It was the following day I had woke up, I went to take my pants off to get in the shower, and there was a bruise, and it was actually way bigger than this. It was like my whole thigh.
Definitely was upper.
No, it
So,
was not.
With all this stuff going on, the news of pregnancy was going to trump all that. And it sure did. It was not very well received, and Mr. Hundley was even more on the edge afterward when the baby mama surprised him with another piece of news.
The reason I didn't believe it though is because all the things that happened prior. So I honestly didn't believe I was the only one she was with. So I definitely couldn't have been the only father.
so as soon as she told you, even though you all were in a relationship, your immediate thought was, I'm not the only one she's with, so I have doubt.
Yes, ma'am. But then she also told me that she ain't the father, or that I'm not the father.
Next up, we got to see how much the baby daddy had been involved in the pregnancy journey. The defendant claimed he was involved, but the baby mama didn't agree with that so much. She wanted the emotional connection, and Mr. Hindley failed to deliver on that. And this led to an interesting conversation the couple shared on the day of delivery.
He was not involved in my pregnancy like he should have been.
It's not, but that's also like on when the day he was born. Like she told me before I signed the birth certificate with a smirk on her face, talking about she's like, yeah, you sure you want to sign that without getting the DNA test?
I did not. I said,
yeah, she did. Like, yeah.
That's not what you want to hear in the delivery room.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
Even after all this chaotic mess, the baby daddy still ended up signing the birth certificate. He wasn't the biological father, but he was the legal father, and that left the poor guy in tears in the middle of the court proceeding.
I mean, I kind of grew up in the same similar situation. When I was 18, I found out the man that raised me ain't my real dad for real, like, and that hurt me for real too, because I mean, the man had been there my whole life for real, like,
And I can see how emotional that makes you.
I'm sorry, Mom.
You just did not want the same for that little boy.
Nah.
Talking about the future of this relationship, the baby daddy was at a loss for words. He was struggling and desperately wanted the little guy to be his kid. The baby mama, on the other hand, had been in contact with her ex. Not cool, woman. Not cool indeed.
Who do you think his father is?
If it's not me, I would have to say probably her ex or something.
Does the ex know about Jade?
yes, Your Honor.
Has the ex met Jade?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why has the ex met Jade?
He had kept in contact with my family when we split up.
Was it going to be love or a total bust? We've reached the most important part of the case, the truth. That's what these guys came here for. So, that's what they were gonna get. Here we go.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Hundley, you are the father.
Yeah, this is the best feeling. I can't even explain it. But hey, yeah, that's my little homie, man.
A guy stuck between his wife and mother, and he showed the apt picture of his circumstances in the courtroom quite well. The mother-in-law strongly suspected the paternity of baby Nevaeh and had a good enough reason for it, while the defendant was ready to fight it out.
Explain to me, why are you so doubtful?
Your Honor, Mr. Nevels and Mrs. Coleman Nevels was on a breakup. Jessica moved in with another guy, and shortly after that, she went to jail for 30 days. And as soon as she got out, she came straight to my son, and 2 weeks later, she said she's pregnant.
Clear the runway, people, because Miss Lotta was on a roll. She didn't beat around the bush at all and went straight to the point. According to her, the timeline was a total mess, as Miss Jessica had been in and out of jail and another guy's house. And then bam, she announces the pregnancy.
She was seen on Facebook with another guy kissing him. She even got his name tattooed on her body as if, Your Honor, my son didn't mean anything to her.
You got another guy's name tattooed?
Yes.
The baby mama's moral compass was faulty, because she showed no remorse at all. Moreover, the baby daddy acknowledged this fact as well, and since then, the paternity doubt has been pricking him in the side.
Were you at the hospital when the baby was born?
Yes, I was from the beginning of the time she was born all the way to now.
When your wife told you she was pregnant, did you believe the baby was yours?
Yes, I did.
You had no doubts?
I had no doubts in my mind.
Were you aware that she had slept with someone else while you all were on the break?
Yes, I was.
But you still had no doubts about?
I had no doubts at all.
Oh dear! As soon as Mr. Nevels got to know about his wife's shenanigans, well, he took matters into his own hands then. Yep, guess desperate times call for desperate measures, and he took that way too seriously.
Sometimes I look like maybe she looks like me, or then maybe she don't, or maybe the ears or the eyes.
So you're desperately trying to pick out a connection.
Couple of things about her.
And when you say you see other people, are you familiar with the facial features of anyone else that your wife slept with?
Yes.
Well, by the looks of it, it seemed the baby mama was only here to accept all her extracurricular activities. She wasn't regretful. Furthermore, the plaintiff accused her that she was also keeping her son away from her as well.
I'm feeling that
More doubtful or less doubtful?
more doubtful. I want this connection. I really do. But my son, he only calls me when he needs things. And it's like she's keeping him away from me. He never calls, Mom, how you doing, or anything.
It was time to see whether it would be a moment of relief for these guys or a heart-wrenching twist. The fate of baby Nevaeh hung in the balance. Miss Lotta was ready for the results, and so were we. Let's roll them on out.
Mr. Nevels, you are her father.
I told you. I know, Lord. Thank you.